Two American soldiers are trapped in a jungle during a storm in 1968, during the Vietnam War. The leader announces that they have lost the remainder of the crew and calls for assistance over the radio. The leader starts shooting, but he doesn't hit anything, and the other soldier yells as he vanishes into the forest. He sees something moving in the woods and begins to run through the jungle, terrified. Then he is killed by a dinosaur that leaps out. A Vietnamese woman tries to convince the soldiers that her husband was taken by a feathered devil in an American camp the following morning, but they don't believe her. A vehicle carrying enigmatic canisters has been apprehended, and a brief scan reveals a hazardous radiation level. A soldier phones Colonel Jericho to tell him about the truck and the squad that vanished last night as several bombs detonate nearby. Jericho determines that he must dispatch the Vulture team to conduct a rescue operation. The Vulture squad is infiltrating an enemy camp in the meantime. The snipers shoot the man on the watchtower from a distance. Then they ambush two guards from behind to subtly bring them down. They can now proceed with their surprise attack on the camp. As they proceed through the area, the crew starts shooting, eliminating any adversary who tries to approach too closely. The squad cleans up the area quickly since the snipers are providing cover. When they investigate the inmates, they discover 2 living Americans in a cage and 3 already dead. An opposing soldier suddenly emerges from hiding to strike, but a sergeant swiftly dispatches him with a machete. They are picked up by helicopters shortly after, and the Vulture squad is told they have already been selected for another operation. Shortly after, the Vulture squad is dropped off to a camp where a caged tiger is being held by Americans. Jericho informs them about the rumored weird activity in the valley and the missing squad. In order to dispatch helicopters to do the evacuation, he needs them to conduct reconnaissance and locate the missing guys. The team is informed that it is classified when they request further information. Jericho privately begs Baker, the leader of the Vulture, to maintain order among his men. Jericho will remove some previous accusations from Baker's profile if everything goes according to plan. Keyes attempts to discuss his PTSD with Stavil in the main tent. He occasionally makes too much noise while they are on a mission, which could lead to his death one day. He is reassured by Keyes that he would receive assistance shortly. The Vulture team takes off for their next operation in the evening. The pilot reports that the guns are malfunctioning, but at least the helicopter is still flying straight when the system abruptly begins blaring. When the group is dropped off close to the jungle, they spot a game trail among the trees right away. The trail appears to be larger than an elephant, which confounds them. They begin looking about and discover bird footprints that are too large to correspond with any recognized animal. They find massive feathers nearby that appear to be the same size as the footprints. Research Station 4 is marked on the map, and they eventually come across a rucksack containing a notepad that reads, "We are being hunted." The bag was discovered encircled by 2 types of tracks and tons of casings. They choose to follow them as a result. As the team continues into the forest, they hear a strange noise coming from something moving among the bushes. Abruptly, something seizes Baker's leg and begins pulling him along the floor. Baker starts shooting rapidly and doesn't stop until the enigmatic monster dumps him and flees. Before they continue, the other members of the team hurry to see how he is doing and tend to his injuries. In the meantime, a group of Russian troops known as the Dogs of War are also searching for the Americans in the bush. Conan has been abducted to serve as their guide. They discover that the casings they locate on the ground are still warm. Conan is asked to pick up the trail by the soldiers. As they proceed, they also hear strange sounds, and the soldier at the back of the line fails to notice the dinosaur hiding in the woods. Thus, the beast's enormous teeth swiftly bite him. The others believe the Americans were responsible when they discover the body with its organs removed. Returning to the Vultures, they keep moving while they talk about the potential presence of creatures in the jungle. They question whether they should go back and act as though they found nothing until they discover a massive claw on the ground. But Baker says they'll continue after spotting a portion of a soldier's uniform. The bodies of the missing squad are then discovered in a cave, where they are devastated. It seemed that a massive assailant tore them to pieces. As the group advances, there's a disturbance coming from somewhere in the darkness. A group of feathered dinosaurs suddenly leaps out, and the troops flee for cover while firing as quickly as they can at the creatures. As the guys continue to fire their weapons, killing dinosaur after dinosaur without hesitation, chaos and terror engulf the cave. Baker and Vern unintentionally split apart from the others as they approach a small passageway amid the chaos. Until they exit the cave, the two follow the tunnel. They begin climbing some vines to get away after hearing sounds that suggest there are more scary creatures nearby. Soon after, a dinosaur spots them and tries to seize Baker, who quickly shoots the creature to death. More dinosaurs are drawn to the gunfire, but they are unable to leap very high. Thus, Baker and Vern continue their ascent until they reach the cave's summit. Meanwhile, the remaining vultures also escape the cave. They prepare to shoot after hearing sounds in the bushes and believing that more of the feathered dinosaurs are going to leap out. But when they see a huge beast pass by, they freeze. Baker and Vern are startled to discover a massive dinosaur dozing on the ground amid the skeletons of its prey after following the track for some time and stumbling into a clearing. Their parent wakes up as 3 babies suddenly emerge from behind them and start making noises at the people. Vern and Baker begin to run as quickly as they can, occasionally turning to aim at the beast's face. The dinosaur nevertheless finds them, even though this slows it down enough for the 2 of them to hide in the bushes. The other vultures cross a river and rest in the morning. Despite their concerns about Baker and Vern, they don't want to go back to the cave since it's too risky. They are compelled to move once more when they hear certain sounds. As the enormous dinosaur continues to pursue them, Baker and Vern roll down the valley. They eventually cover under a downed tree after much running, and Baker distracts the beast by throwing a grenade at it. They then continue sprinting till they come to a cliff's edge. To get out, they leap into the water, and the dinosaur falls with them, because Vern is unconscious and the dinosaur swims away. Baker must take him to the shore of the river. Sophia then approaches the men and assists Baker in waking Vern by moving him. She welcomes the lads to her lab and informs them that their teammates are most likely dead. Both groups continue to come across dinosaurs of various sizes and colors as they traverse the forest. To get away from them, they move stealthily, but in the end, Key's gang is able to walk alongside some large animals. After more than a year, Sophia accompanies Baker and Vern to Research Station 4. She is the sole survivor, yet she formerly had a group of scientists. As they enter a chamber, she blocks the door and explains that the building is extremely safe because it is composed of steel-reinforced concrete. Following Sophia's injection of medication into her arm, the soldiers become alarmed and demand an explanation. Sophia explains that General Borden from Russia killed everyone who knew about this location while Vern tries the radio. She has been living here by herself ever since. Borden has apparently been constructing a collider. When Vern eventually calls the camp, Baker answers and relays all of Sophia's words to Jericho. He calls for the rest of his squad to be rescued and brings up the dinosaurs as well. Baker will make his observations from today public if Jericho doesn't cooperate. Jericho forces his soldiers to look into the name Borden, even if he doesn't want to accept the dinosaur story. He begins to reconsider when he recalls a massive fawn that the soldiers brought from the forest. In the hopes of finding and rejoining the rest of the crew, the 3 depart the building. Keyes collapses with a wound to his leg as the other vultures are crossing an open field when someone suddenly starts shooting at them. The vultures now have to defend themselves as the dogs have discovered them. After hearing the gunshots, Sophia and the men follow them. Without making any progress, both teams remain hidden and keep shooting at one another. Suddenly, some enormous dinosaurs flying overhead break up the fight. Instead, as they search for cover, the soldiers begin firing at the creatures. A Russian soldier is confronted by one of the creatures, which then prods him with its beak to reveal his inside organs. The dinosaurs then assemble around him for meals. The other soldiers flee as a result of the distraction. While the 2 surviving Russian men shoot, the vultures carry Keyes into the jungle, preventing the monsters from reuniting with Conan. The vultures stop to patch Keyes' wound after they have traveled far enough. When Baker's group discovers them at that same moment, the vultures are suspicious of Sophia because she is also Russian. Little dinosaurs suddenly emerge from the bushes and begin to circle them, even scaling trees to get a better look. One beast after another is killed by the troops' instant firing, but more and more continue to arrive. A dinosaur sneaks up behind them and kidnaps Keyes because they are so overpowered. Keyes is dropped close to a tree and surrounded by dinosaurs after being dragged for some time. A beast leaps on him from above after he strikes them with a branch to keep them away. Keyes pushes it away and gets to his feet, willing to fight, but the dinosaurs just choose to flee. When Keyes believes it is done, the big predator that frightened the others away abruptly knocks him down. Key sustains further wounds as the beast continues to tread on her and shake her body. Keyes lunges for his dagger and stabs the dinosaur in the neck as he hears his pals approaching. The vultures immediately start shooting when they hear the creature's cries. The squad rushes to Keyes' side to tend to his fresh wounds as the creature flees in terror. Baker refuses to leave him behind, despite Sophia's opinion. When the gang gets to Sophia's building in the evening, Keyes is placed on a table so that he can receive painkillers. When Baker pursues Sophia as she slips out of the room, he finds that she has taken an injection for herself because she is an addict. According to Sophia, the dinosaur disaster may have been prevented. She is a paleontologist, and her spouse was a nuclear research scientist. In order to do some risky research on a collider, the Russian army transported them into the middle of the forest. The goal was allegedly to construct a wormhole that would enable them to conquer the United States. But bored and use shortcuts, dinosaurs were brought into the present by a malfunctioning collider that created a portal to the past. Except for Sophia, who wasn't inside the facility when the Russian military arrived, the entire study team was subsequently slain. Borden is currently constructing another collider in the Highlands after abandoning this lab. The troops choose not to shoot when they spot a dinosaur racing close to the structure later that night in order to keep their position a secret. The men are compelled to shoot at the dinosaur's head even when it manages to find a window. More creatures are drawn to the chaos, so the vultures quickly take up positions on the windows and fire their weapons non-stop for a few minutes until the animals have left. They also shoot at it when something begins to bang on the door, but the dinosaur just goes back to the window. Because every soldier is focused on battling it, there is room for a second creature to enter through the door. Together, the vultures close the entrance and push the beasts back. One of the dinosaurs then scales the glass roof and uses its head to shatter it. Although they are unable to keep up with all of the dinosaurs at once, the men also fire at it. Keyes wants them to depart without him since he knows he won't make it, even if Sophia tells them about a back door to the docks. Before fleeing with the others, Stovall gives him one final cigarette. 2 grenades are set off by Keyes when the dinosaurs eventually enter. Before boarding a boat, the others on the docks observe the explosion and lament their comrade. The boat continues to sail upriver the following morning. After learning about the other collider, Baker's crew decides to destroy it. Sophia tries to warn them, but her retreat causes her to faint. Upon awakening, she says that the planet would be destroyed if they bombed the collider. They have to pull the plug instead. Sophia takes advantage of the troops' admiration for the local dinosaurs to attempt to sneak another injection. A dinosaur catches the syringe as it leaps out of the water after the males lose it during their battle to stop her. In order to help Sophia deal, Baker chastises her and gives her cigarettes. The others prevent Stovall from shooting the water beast down as he watches it travel to the shore and consume lesser dinosaurs. Stovall then contemplates suicide. Baker, however, reminds him that they need him and stops him just in time. The gang arrives to a foggy location after sailing for several hours. They discover several human bodies on the ground as soon as they touch down. They navigate the jungle cautiously, but the fog still obscures their vision, making it simple for a group of tiny dinosaurs to ambush them without warning. As the soldiers attempt to protect themselves with firearms, knives, and even their fists, mayhem breaks out. Stovall goes crazy and shouts while shooting at all the creatures after witnessing all of his pals suffer injuries. He then dashes forward, forcing everyone to follow. At the river, he pauses and keeps shooting at the approaching beasts. He eventually has just one bullet left, and as he hears Keyes' voice in his mind, he laughs. The dinosaurs congregate around Stovall's body to consume him once the final bullet self-destructs. When the group eventually arrives at the Russian base that evening, Baker gives Jericho a call to let him know where they are. According to Jericho, they are not allowed to harm or even approach the site because it is a national security facility. Before hanging up, Baker claims there is too much static, which makes him realize he has permission to act. He then calls for rescue helicopters. After reaching a consensus, the vultures act. They circumnavigate the walls and, if necessary, chop off the heads of any men they discover standing watch. Sophia and Baker stealthily make their way to the main area, while the majority of the vultures continue their mission to murder Russians. They learn that the last canines have returned, and Kondan is furious with Borden for allowing dinosaurs to occupy her native country. Following their ordeal, the dogs are also upset with Borden and nearly start shooting, but other troops remove them. The dogs hear their plot and agree to assist as Sophia and Baker take down the two guards to free them while the vultures begin placing bombs throughout the camp. A tiny dinosaur is approaching, and several Russian soldiers shoot it down right away. They quickly find out why Borodin reprimands them. When the baby's parents see the body, they yell in rage. The soldiers who are unable to shoot the enraged animals down are killed as they rush toward the base and begin destroying everything in their path. They walk on the cars with their enormous paws, hit their surrounds with their tail, and consume some men. Soldiers soon surrender and begin to flee. As if playing with their food, the dinosaurs continue to snare them in their large jaws and hurl bodies at one another. Baker's party tries to follow Borodin as he flees to hide inside a building, but the animals keep getting in the way. They hide and watch for a gap so they may dash inside. Condan identifies Vulture Miller as one of the individuals who murdered her family amid the confusion. A furious struggle breaks out after she jumps on him. But when the dinosaur approaches too closely, the two are forced to shelter beneath a car. Miller battles Conan beneath the truck till he pushes her away as the beast begins smashing tanks as well. When he tries to flee, Conan leaps on him once more and stabs him. After expressing guilt for his conduct throughout the conflict, Miller begs for forgiveness before setting off the bombs. Miller and Conan are killed by the massive explosion, which also drives the dinosaurs away. When Baker's group enters a lab within the building, they murder a scientist who tries to stop them. When the other scientists notice this, they move aside to allow Sophia to begin deactivating the collider. Soon after, the other vultures join them, but Borodin interrupts them by drawing a rifle. But because she wants to be the bigger person, Sophia spits on him after Baker shoots him down first. The building's power is then interrupted when Sophia chops a cable. When the lights return thanks to the emergency generator, they discover Borodin is no longer there. A group of dinosaurs suddenly show up on the base to eat all the corpses. They also obstruct the escape tube. In order to slow them down and start shooting, the vultures throw two smoke bombs. The creatures quickly invade the lab and destroy everything they come into contact with since there are far too many of them. Within seconds, one of the dogs is killed after being pushed down. Borodin is swiftly consumed as well when he attempts to operate the control panel. After setting off an explosion, the others flee, after Sophia leads them to a back door. One of the vultures is captured, and although his friends wish to help him, it is too late. The others are forced to flee after the thing devours the man. They quickly locate a ladder, so Baker sends everyone out while remaining in the back to offer protection. The monsters run after him as he runs ahead. He continues to toss explosives behind him as a result. The monsters leap on him to kill him as well, because this is insufficient to deter them. After killing Baker, the other members of the group see the dinosaurs approaching, but fortunately they run quickly enough to escape. When they spot the approaching creatures, Jericho's entire crew, including the helicopters, opens fire in unison. The flying animals that now enter the battle are killed by the choppers, which offer cover from the sky. The crew survives long enough to buy time, but several soldiers are killed in the battle. Everyone rushes to the helicopters for a final escape when the base is destroyed by the vultures' bombs. Jericho chastises the squad during the flight for destroying the equipment rather than stealing it for the United States. It's too late, as Sophia notes. Dinosaurs have already appeared outside of the jungle as a result of the collider's destruction, which could potentially have a fatal impact on the entire planet. To view more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and enable notifications. Thank you for viewing.